Yes,
It's recording.
it is. Welcome to another episode of Industrial Amputation, where you may always expect the unexpected. Today, it is our pleasure to welcome an award-winning music video and documentary film director and musician. He's directed videos for Fear Factory, Biff Naked, Download, Delirium, and Guar, just to name a few, and he's played with Skinny Puppy and Ogre. Kids, the very talented, the very warm, the very friendly Mr. William Morrison. William, it's a pleasure to see you again, man.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's good to see you guys.
I know that you and Levi are pretty tight. If you guys want to take a minute to catch up, feel free.
Oh, yeah. So you're still in Vancouver, huh?
Yeah, I came back here about 4 years ago, and I got invited to teach at a university here in film, and
Yeah.
so I've been a professor now for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got the gray beard now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Far cry from when I first saw you was in Anaheim. It's kind of,
Yep, yep.
you know, but it's good that I got in touch with you and you got to connect with you, because there, I just went and saw the show. It's the first time I ever saw Skinny Puppy, and I saw it in Disneyland, in Anaheim. So,
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
that would
yeah,
have been like 2004 or five, one of the two,
yeah,
right?
probably, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I actually remember getting off the tour bus, and I had no idea that we were playing in Disneyland.
Oh, wow,
And I,
yeah,
I like I like literally got off the tour bus and I'm like, holy fuck, we're at Disneyland.
yeah, yeah. It took a long time for me to drill that in, but
Yeah. What a freaking combination, dude.
yeah,
That's like my brain. Skinny Puppy and Disney. Yeah.
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 It's like before Marvel got there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
so uh so what music are you doing now? You know?
So I have been away from music for a little while, actually, Charles. And I want to get back to the American Memory Project.
Mm,
But it's been a while, and I've just been focusing on, being an educator, and
yeah.
I mean, when I'm making films, I score my own films, so
Mhm.
that I've been doing that. But in terms of like making a record,
Mhm.
I really want to get back with Justin and get on top of Amp again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it
you
was
mentioned,
good. It was good to see Justin. I saw him here.
Yep.
I mean, I'm in Denver now,
yeah.
and it's a lot better here, for medical reasons. My
Yep.
medical, my health is in, I'm still healing and I'm adjusting to, the change of life for me, but I'm still keeping my leg in there. Yeah, so I'm still kicking. But it's really kind of hard to see everyone
Yeah.
out and about.
Yeah.
But it's good you're doing education. That's good, man.
Yeah.
It's a far cry from what I would have expected.
Yeah. So you currently the professor of motion picture arts program at what is it, Capilano
Yeah.
University in
Apollon
Vancouver?
University. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Instruction on motion picture arts, production, 3D animation, and drone cinematography.
Yes.
Please, please tell us about that and about what drew you to the film industry.
Well, I mean, I was a filmmaker before I had a musical career, right?
Mhm.
And that's actually how I met Skinny Puppy in the first place.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Okay.
and so the whole thing really started with Gary Blair Smith,
Okay.
uh, from Images in Vogue,
Hmm.
who was playing with Kenny in that band way back when.
Yeah.
And so I moved to Vancouver, and I was like 23 years old, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
And I started. I was an editor at that point,
Yeah.
and I kind of had my like just by my good fortune, I was given the keys to the castle of a really, like $1 million edit suite at the time before all this, stuff was democratized with, free applications and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I just like dug into music video. And so Gary and I started working together, and he introduced me to ohGr, and that's how the whole thing started.
Oh,
That was
wow.
Oh,
like
okay.
Yeah.
and also with Friendly Assembly and Delirium and all that stuff that I did in the early days.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Nice. Yeah. So just a quick question. CGI, practical effects, or a mix of both? Where do you stand?
Both.
Hmm.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
all got their place for sure. Do you have a favorite?
I mean, a lot of the work that I do, if you look at like my music videos, you're
Hmm.
going to see a lot of stuff that is really based on compositing.
Yeah.
So it's mostly 2D stuff in a 3D space, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I do 3D as well. And like the ohGr videos, for instance, are a combination, like the early ones, and that really was just when I was starting to learn 3D, are a combination between 3D and 2D as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, those are some fantastic videos. I know the ogre ones in particular are some of my favorites. Yeah. Damn. Uh,
Damn.
what is one of your favorite movies and why?
Oh,
You notice
oh,
I didn't say what is your favorite movie because anybody that's been around for a while likely doesn't have just one.
yeah.
I know I don't.
Yeah, I mean, movies that have influenced me. I think, I mean, I could list a bunch of them, but Blade Runner was one of them.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
It's funny because it was like a failure at the box office
Yeah.
when it was released, and I grew up in a very small town in Ontario, Canada,
Yeah.
Uh,
and I went to the theater, and there was two people in the theater,
huh.
and
Wow.
so yeah,
Do you have a
which
Wow.
is
favorite cut?
really,
Do
what's
you have a
that?
favorite cut of that movie? I think there's like
Yeah, I
five.
did.
I've got like the Ultimate Collection on
No, no,
Blu-ray.
I actually I
Did you
actually
work on
copied
that?
it and did my own cut of it.
Oh, oh man. Okay. I'm all right. You may have to share, just
I
saying.
don't have a copy of it, but that was a long time ago. But yeah, I recut it because
Man, that's
uh,
freaking awesome.
I didn't like the original cut. So,
I don't know. The original cut was kind of, yeah, I don't think Ridley liked it too much either. Um
it's interesting because I think that I know he didn't like the idea that there would be like the voiceovers in
mhm,
the cut,
yeah.
but I actually think that that was a good thing
I
for
think it
them.
was too. I actually one of my friends when he released his director's cut,
Yep.
it was shorter than the theatrical release, and one of my friends was like, he's a pussy. I was like, I don't know you can say that, man. I don't know. It's a different take. I don't He's like, yeah, but he took out some of the gore. I'm like, oh, come on,
Yeah.
man. It's like but yeah,
It,
people definitely have hard opinions about that movie for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant and very flawed in the same breath,
Yeah, yeah.
in many ways. And yeah, so it was just something that I did for fun. But that's very influential. I think, I mean, there's so many different films from the past that I could talk about as well. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
in terms of a lot of European films as well, and Jean Cocteau and brilliant
Yeah,
surrealist directors in Europe that really influenced me.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You've also done a hell of a lot of work on documentary stuff. You have
Yeah.
credits on shows from some of my favorite networks: Discovery Channel, History, the Discovery Channel, Travel Channel, and History Channel. Those are standouts for me. What are some of your favorites that you've worked on?
Oh, I mean, there's so many stories like working on uh, like it's the show Airplane Repo, for instance.
Hmm.
But so with Discovery, that was like a really popular show on Discovery.
Yeah.
And so I was in the first season, I was like a field director and cinematographer. And
Hmm.
then in the second season, I was the series producer.
Oh, right on.
And I wrote most of that show because what happened was we started the show and I realized immediately that it couldn't be a reality show because just the two main pilots that were on the show were just not working anymore in that world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I walked into the production office and I said, we can't make this show, and we have to rethink this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so we did, and then I was the only person that really understood aviation because I grew up in that world. My dad was a navigator in the armed forces in Canada,
Oh, wow.
and so it was really interesting and created this whole sort of we just I sat down with those guys and I was like, we're gonna have to do recreations,
Yeah.
and they were like, okay, but if we're gonna do them, we're gonna do them for real.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
Yeah. So everything that you see in that, we had no stunt coordinators, nothing,
Yeah.
right? So everything that you see in that show and we did the craziest shit you could even imagine, and also a lot of really illegal stuff as
Yeah.
well.
So you
And
really did get into the nitty-gritty on some of these things location-wise as well. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. There was one story that we did that was so one of the pilots in his past had repossessed an airplane from the Honduras military, and it was in the middle of the night, and
Seems dodgy.
it was super dodgy, and he got to the aircraft, and the battery wasn't in it, so he found a cart, that was like a booster, and started the airplane, got up to altitude. But the thing with this particular airplane is that it's when you actually it basically the battery's like kind of balances out the whole electrical system in the airplane, so everything shuts off in the airplane. He has no instruments, nothing, right?
Jesus.
And but the
Wow.
thing is that like in airplanes, like the engines run autonomously, right?
Yeah.
They're different systems. So he's flying this plane up the coast of Honduras, and he sees this airport, and he's like, he has to land.
Oh,
But the
God.
Honduran military had radioed ahead and said this particular airplane's been stolen. So, stop this guy if you can. So he's on a, and they shut all the lights off.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Wow.
So he initiates what's called a water landing, which is like a very slow vector
Yeah.
when you're landing a plane, lands and gets thrown into jail for like 4 months or something like
Oh,
that.
my God.
Damn.
And
And
landed instrument blind and actual blind.
yes, yeah.
Damn. Oh, my God.
Damn.
Yeah, you're right. Dodgy. Holy shit.
Yeah, so I found the same airplane, and and I found this little airport in the Florida Keys, and we shot it in night vision, and he reached under the dash and shut all the instruments off, everything except the engines, and we did it twice, landing in the dark.
Oh, my God, man.
Wow.
Like, how much do your cojones weigh, my
Yeah.
friend? That is
Man.
wild.
Man.
Jesus.
That's
Oh
how
my
we made that
God.
show. It's like everything you see in that show is like it's crazy, right? It
Yeah.
looks like there was no stunt coordinators at all.
Listen.
Yeah.
Jesus
Damn.
Christ. Oh my God. That's insane, man. And
That's
you got do you have any particularly motivational stories from your work with documentaries?
I mean, there's so many great things. I mean, I've been all over the world, and I directed a series for the Food Network for 6 years,
Hmm.
and uh, and it was really great because we just got to travel around the world and celebrate people.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
That's fucking
and
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, it was amazing, and the host is still like one of my best friends, and it was just I mean, I'm so blessed in terms of that life, just in
Yeah.
terms of being able to go and lift people up and just normal people,
Yeah.
and just celebrate people on the streets and
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
That's
that's one
cool.
of the things I really enjoyed talking to you. We met briefly at the Tricks VIP.
yep, I remember.
And yeah, your heart, man. You've got a good heart, and
Thank
it's
you.
it's very inspiring. And I'm very glad I got to talk to you. I'm very glad we were able to get you on the show too. So it's good to
Yeah.
see you again. Um, so you did something I wanted to get in here. Levi, do you have anything before I do this?
No, go ahead. No,
Okay.
no. That's,
I took my niece when she was just 3 years old to the what was it, the Discovery Channel's Walking with Dinosaurs Arena exhibit. Back when it came through town here. One of our
Yep.
bonding experiences. My niece, my goddaughter Jabibble, she's like the world to me, and her favorite thing is T-Rexes. So I when that thing came through town, I had to take her. She was absolutely lit up the whole time with all the big monster dinosaurs out there. All the other little kids, when Mama T-Rex came out and screamed, because they were all applauding the little baby T-Rex that was running around, and then Mom came out. All these little kids are diving under their seats, and she's up on her seat. Just, yeah, it was absolutely awesome. You worked on a dinosaur, the dinosaur exhibit, the Xterra Foundation,
That's
an
right.
interactive dinosaur museum, the
Yep.
size of two football fields,
Yeah.
and apparently the largest touring exhibit in history. Can you please tell us about your role in that?
yeah.
Yeah, I was creating a lot of media for it. And there was a whole team of people obviously working on that. But yeah, it was a major exhibition, and it was incredible. And it was really great to work with all the paleontologists and the scientists that were involved in that. I'm not sure what to tell you about it really. I mean, it was it's that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
But at the time I think it was the largest touring exhibit in history at that
yeah,
point. Yeah.
that is fascinating, man. What a yeah, blessed life, dude. That is awesome.
That's
Yeah, no,
right.
I've been really lucky.
Yeah. Now, have you worked with Levi before?
No.
No, we have not worked together, but we should.
Yeah,
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 you should. Yeah, you should.
yeah. I know. I would love to do a documentary on on the life leading up to now. You know,
Yeah.
He is working on his
um,
memoirs. Yeah.
yeah, I get the memoirs and everything, still writing them, and everything comes back to me moments
Mm.
to keeping chronicize it. And the thing is, um, I've been through so much, musical situations, and the lifestyle is just different now. It's like I have to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I was talking with a animator, and he was going to do a comic book character. You know, it was going to be in Akron, Ohio, and we were going to, you know, he was just going to draw. I just, talk to him, tell him some stories, and he draws it and illustrates them. And he was really fast at it,
Mm.
So we would have an idea of a storyboard in about a day or so. And he would illustrate it. And he was so good. I never found out what happened to that kid
Hmm.
uh, because I was touring a lot and I didn't keep in touch on him. It's my
Yeah.
loss. But I never heard from him ever again. And
If you're out there, give us a call.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was really serious about it.
Oh, that's
And
cool,
so
man.
it surprised me that I didn't keep in touch with him
Mm.
or that we didn't touch hands, keep in touch. And I kind of regret that. And so now I have a friend of mine who he wants to do film, and he wants to, you know, do soundtracks and movies. And then that's what he wants to do, like a exhibit of a lot of my shows and stuff.
Mm.
So I really take it lightly, but I guess there were some hair raising situations. But like the show where the artist talks about situations and they illustrate it from animation. And it's funny, it's great, you know. I wish I could draw like that, but that's got to be done quick, you know. They have to be pretty fast, you know. But that's in the works for now, you know, because I'm not going, you know, I'm not touring, you know, so and performing. So now, as I build up enough momentum, I want to do like a storyboard of, you know, different situations, different moments. And that's what I'm basing a lot of the songs that I'm going to be doing or that I've done already off real life situations. Like, you know, trip hop, you know, and have a storyboard for each song.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds great.
yeah, the guy who painted, who drew what you see in back of me, he's really good, you know,
Simon Paul. Yeah.
Simon Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. And he really nailed it. So, you know, illustrations like that. So I think, you know, a lot of times I don't have a publicist or a, a person that edits moments like that, you know, and story. And I would love to if, you know, I had someone who could want to do that, you know, make a movie or make a show, you know, about masturbates. Really, you know. And I think it would be funny. It wouldn't, you know, I'm not trying to toot my horn, but it would be good
Yeah.
just, you know, because there's a lot of cross references of different people in there. And I think it would be really good. So I don't know this guy, I don't know what he's done. I'll find out about it more. But he's trying to work up a budget to have this happen, you know, where I can fly out and
Yeah.
show him the places of Chicago and everything. Show him the south side of Chicago. Show him,
Yeah.
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 And the Pope's from there now.
I love the South Side.
Yeah. And the Pope is from South Side.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's in he was in he's in south on the south side, but like a suburb, you know, a little part, a little yeah, like a suburb. And that part of town is really you know, I know the different sections of Chicago,
Me
and
too.
I would love to talk about how I ran around and got into music and how my parents, my grandmother and my mom and dad were lived in different sections of the city. And sometimes, you know, different parts of the city, you get a different kind of flavor, you know. On the north
So,
side, yeah, yeah.
so I mean, all my friends are from like the Wild Hundreds, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, the Wild Hundreds. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's where the
that's
Pope is.
that's where I hang when I'm in Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember
I'm like the
like,
old white dude hanging out in the Wild Hundreds.
yeah, really. You know something I'm gonna tell you. The South Side in the hundreds, when I was younger, I didn't, there's no way a black person would be in the hundreds. You know,
Yeah.
go to 119th,
Oh man.
111th, you know. My dad eventually moved on the 9500 South. And I was by 30 something hundred north by Wrigley Field.
Yep.
So there are so many things. There is so much history. Like in Chicago in the 70s, it was a good music scene going. And that part of Chicago, that part of the north side was like where, you know, you didn't have to go to the south side to see a metal band. You could just go right downtown or just go to, go to, you know, Chicago Avenue, you know, north,
Yep.
see, see a hair band, you know,
Yeah.
and you go to the south side of Chicago, you just go to cake parties.
Yeah.
or a gathering
Hmm.
where someone goes, I'm gonna have some kegs and we're gonna play for 2 hours,
Ah,
put some donations in the fucking bucket
yeah.
or get the fuck out of here, you know. That was it.
Oh,
So, there was a place called Millennium where they left a really big building, and all everyone ever did was squat in it. And finally somebody said, let's have concerts here. And so it was a core of honest people that really looked out for you in case any fights,
yeah.
really wild things, no overabundance of drugs activity, just music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. Not that was cool. You couldn't get that, you couldn't you had to be 21 of age to get into clubs. So when drinking age was 19, bands you could make a living playing cover bands,
Yeah.
in Chicago. And the South Side was the shit. Sticks, you know, was from the South Side.
There's so much music, like, fuck. I mean, where do you even start? Like, I mean, the amount of creativity in that part of the world
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
just, it's like one of my favorite places on earth.
Yeah.
yeah,
And, and I was like, I'm involved with the whole footwork scene there, right? Which is
yeah,
not a dance, it's also music, right?
yeah.
And, hanging out with these kids that are like just on their MPCs,
Hmm.
doing their thing,
Yeah.
and and just making the most incredible music and dance, and
Hmm.
the fire in the people is just so strong, and
Hmm.
I love it there. I
It
love it.
is. It is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
now I don't know what the South Side's like now because, ruthless activities and guns
Yeah,
activity. It's really, really kind of hard.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
have a cousin that he lives out, I don't know what suburb, he lives on the South Side.
Mm.
And, he really has, I have like some nephews. So they really group and they hang in their group and they're not troublemakers or anything.
yeah.
But Wiz Khalif is really he set a tone on the South Side,
Mm.
and he's a worldwide performer.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Khalif, he's like worked well with the LA crowd, with California musicians, so he's doing good. I don't know anyone else in Chicago. I don't keep up. But I know one thing. I like to get hold of this. I hope my friend gets the funding for, this whole idea to come up.
That would be awesome.
As
Yeah.
far as yeah, as far as music, I would love to make some music for visuals for soundtrack stuff.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I like that very much so.
Yeah. That's what everybody tells me my music is good for.
Yeah,
Soundtracks.
soundtracks.
Like that sounds like it's something from a scary movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what me and Joe are leaning
Hmm.
to making, you know, incidental music,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Nope, nothing top 40. And if anything for me, the urban soundtrack, that is
Yeah.
what I go under that banner. And it's just I'm making stories, making songs about all kinds of about anything, about saying thanks to my fiance,
Uh-huh.
or metal, how she helps me out.
Yeah.
Guys who don't have anything happening now. They
Right.
don't have them, they don't have that fame. They don't have the fortunates to have uh, big backers,
Yeah.
money makers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't, but I would love to see what you're doing, your work.
Yeah.
You you've done really good for yourself now, man. You
Yeah.
put the bass to the side and get down.
Yeah.
No,
That's what.
I'm not giving up the bass anytime soon.
Oh no, no, you can't. I mean, for one simple reason, watching you on stage with a bass, it's you look so fucking right. It's a beautiful thing seeing you up on the stage, just fucking getting
Yeah.
down with the bass, William. It's
Thank you
fucking
for that.
amazing. Do you
Thank you.
prefer
Oh,
William or do you prefer Bill? Because I've had people like reach out and go, "Hey, ask Bill a question." Um, do you prefer
uh,
William or Bill?
William, but I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
The people have known me for like 30 years.
Yeah.
They used to refer to me as Bill back in the day. But
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
The
I just want to make sure I wasn't offending you.
No, no, not at all.
So,
It's funny because I wasn't really a bass player. I kind of was in Skinny Puppy
yeah,
because I was playing double neck.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And but when we s- and I've been playing with ogre since the ogre band. Like I toured with Skinny, but I worked with Skinny Puppy for 20 years,
yeah,
Yeah.
but mostly as a filmmaker. And ogre and I, we lived together for a while
yeah,
and designed a lot of like the whole concept of what Skinny Puppy became
yeah,
Yeah.
uh, together. But what happened with ogre was it was a funny series of events, which was I didn't want to play with Skinny Puppy anymore, and I was getting really busy with my work in film and
yeah,
whatnot.
Yeah.
And so Matthew Setzer,
yeah,
who was my guitar tech at the time,
Mhm.
I invited him. I started dragging him out on stage, like because he was perfect, right?
I
Yeah.
do remember these things as
Yeah.
I've seen every Skinny Puppy live show except Greater Wrong of the Right. And
Right. Yeah, yeah. And so,
yeah, and
at
I
that
remember
time,
seeing these things happen on stage or the progression and it's yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
so I started dragging Matthew out on stage for our encores
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I wanted to put him in front of Ogre. So he,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it was really funny because Matthew came to my house one day in LA, and he was kind of sheepish,
yeah,
and he was like, so they've asked me to like be the guitar player in the band,
yeah.
Mhm.
and I looked at him and I said, "What the fuck do you think I was taking? Was dragging units?"
Yeah. Right. Trying to let you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was just like, here's the guy that you need in the band,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's how that whole thing started. So
Oh
yeah,
my God.
it was kind of funny. But I mean, Ogre and I started playing together in 2000, I think it was, or 2001,
Yeah.
and
Something around there. Yeah.
yeah, around that time, and we're still doing it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
No, that's
but what happened? And then Matthew joined the band, and he wanted to play guitar, and I was kind of like dueling between bass and guitar at that point.
yeah, yeah,
And then I just sort of committed to the bass,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
I fell in love with it.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
I
You can
really fell in
tell.
love.
You can tell when you're on stage doing that. You can tell how much it means to you.
yeah.
Really
Yeah,
can.
and it wasn't something I was expecting. I was like,
Yeah.
but I totally fall in love with the instrument, and
Mhm.
it's great.
Yeah. It's
And
like watching what's his name? Ant Whistle. Ant Whistle. Was it that his name?
Interesting.
Yeah.
people from the Who,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the Who?
Yeah.
it was incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
Yeah. He
that's
is.
what it reminds me of watching you play. You've got that comfort going on. It's yeah, it's a beautiful fucking thing. It's one of the things that really stands out in my head
Yeah.
about
That was the
stage you play.
guitar. Yeah. The guitar was on the top.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well the
Double.
double neck.
Right. Yep.
You
Your
Yep.
guitar was on the
Steinberg.
top
yeah,
Steinberg.
and at the
Yep.
bottom.
yeah, the Stein was that a Steinberg?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a real sign. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I had a Washburn, and I like the bass on the top
yeah,
because on the Washburn you can be playing, and your strumming could make switch your which one you're playing.
yeah,
Yep.
I'm playing bass, and all of a sudden I switch into a guitar, and I said, I mean, I was doing that. I was playing guitar, and it switched on the bass when I read. So I had to ask them to give me one the other way around.
yeah.
Right.
They did. and then eventually I just knocked that switch off
Yeah.
and just had, I jacked it up where I can flip it, by pushing a button or something.
Oh my God.
Because I'll be playing the song and all of a sudden that switch.
Oh no.
So people go, yeah, just switch it to the other side. So, and plus the hardware was really kind of, iffy. So
Yeah.
Steinbrenner is really good. But
Yeah.
the makes the copies, they're only as good as you can, deal with them,
Yeah. Yeah.
What
pretty
what do you use right?
Steinberger was,
What?
sorry, go ahead,
No,
Joe.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say the Steinberger was an interesting. One of the people that asked a question was
much.
Christopher Nix,
Yes.
who's a amazing guy who's a
Yeah.
fan, and I actually sold him that guitar, the
Mhm.
double neck,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, it was totally broken at that point, and he's an engineer, so he fixed the whole thing up.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
And the funny thing is that Ogre hated that guitar.
Mhm.
He called it the Wall of Rock, and and so like literally on the last couple tours, like the last Ogre tour, like uh, Chris lives near Kansas,
Yeah.
and so we sneak the guitar in, and we hide it,
My God.
and when Ogre's not looking, like I put it on, and, and he's like, "Oh fuck, it's the Wall of Rock," and Matthew on Matthew on the last Skinny Puppy tour, he did the same thing. It
Oh
was
my God, that's fucking brilliant.
Um,
Speaking of Christopher Nix,
yes.
real quick, he did reach out with a question. So we have a question from a fan for you. Mr. Christopher Nix would like to know, what is your desert island record pick and one item you would like to take with you if you were going to be on a desert island?
Well, the one item would be my girlfriend,
Oh,
because
that's
yeah,
that's a
literally the
pretty
best thing
good
that's
one
ever
right
happened to
there.
me.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And her name's Pau, and and unfortunately we live on opposite sides of the world. She lives in Gdansk, Poland,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
but
wow.
we've been making it work for like quite a few years now.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
in terms of records,
Yeah.
it's interesting because I mean, there's so many answers to that question. Like how do you? It's like I was thinking about like albums that I actually adore.
Yeah.
One of
Mm.
them is Naturally, JGK,
Okay.
Mm.
which is like to me, it's like one of the best expressions of the boogie.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Living Color, Vivid.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Vernon Reid is like literally my guitar hero,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
like hands down. And then, but the first record I ever owned was a single, and it was T-Rex, and it was
Oh,
Yes.
Slider.
and yeah, the Slider, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
and
That,
I
my
mean
favorite.
that and Electric Warrior are two of my
yeah.
favorite albums of all time. Like
Yeah,
hands,
Fucking
yeah,
answer. Yeah. Oh
yeah.
my
And I mean,
God.
and then there's so many more. There's so many more
Yeah.
greats.
yeah,
It's like where do you start?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Like, well, we're Remains in Light by Talking Heads. I can't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And right now that's just the one that's in my head because my favorite album of all time rotates depending on what I'm thinking about.
sure, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, and my
Oh,
favorite industrial band has always been Neubauten,
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
like hands down. Like that to me is industrial music.
That,
I don't
yes.
think Skinny
Yeah,
Puppy
Cobbler
or
Mitch
Nine
and
Inch Nails or
Collapse.
anybody's industrial music. Those,
Nobody.
Yeah,
yeah,
Collapse is
Yeah.
probably one of my
yeah,
favorite. That's definitely a go-to, and that's got to be there because then I can play along. I just grab some
I
coconut.
like, yeah. I
Yeah,
like when they would do
box.
yeah. And they
Sympathy
just
for
get
the
better. They just get better over the years.
Yeah,
I like, yeah, yeah. I like Sympathy for the Devil.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was
Rolling
just like,
Stones.
God,
Holy crap,
those,
man.
those, and the vocals they have are the horrifying chorus, like, oh,
Yeah,
it's scary.
yeah.
Yeah,
I said, when I saw Nobody, I was like, wow, that's, they're really good live.
Yeah,
Really good live. I
yeah,
saw them at 16 vote.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's sort of like a cabaret band now. It's like it's really
They kind
interesting.
of are, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
It's fucking brilliant. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
and they've still got the cool fucking percussive instruments that they've made, and
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, it's like the Blue Man Group, which became this big commercial hit,
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
based on Neubauten,
yeah,
yeah,
basically,
yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
With
yeah.
the
Man,
expressions they used were just
yeah, Casper Brosman.
disturbing, I think is the right word for it. But I
Mm.
always love that look on their faces, the look in the eyes, and I think
Yes,
that's how
yeah,
they hired the people to perform that. They had to be able to recreate that look like that at
Yes.
yeah.
the time. That's
Casper Brosman was um really good to meet, and to be on tour with. He was really cool.
which one?
Casper Brosman.
Oh, okay.
He's a guitarist. And every morning when we roll into the town, he would go to the seediest drinking hole and he had his little cigarettes and he would just drink bourbon,
Yeah.
drink bourbon, Levi, drink bourbon, Charles. And I was like, I don't know, man, in the morning, you know, yeah, with a little cream in it. So we drink bourbon, making him time before sound check. And he would just,
Cream. Oh my
he
God.
just create all kinds of stuff on guitar. This is very experimental part of Pigface.
Yeah,
And he was really cool.
that's fucking awesome.
He didn't understand some of the politics in between, but he would just go have his morning drink and just and then come and do the show. And that was really I credited a lot of experience, doing that with him.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of man. All I know is that one thing I do miss about doing movie soundtracks is when you get a test screening of something on film
Mm,
to add music to.
yeah.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Listening to making music for what you're seeing, and that's what I like to have.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
soundtrack stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
if you ever doing any specs on doing shows or some kind of project, just for shits and giggles, just toss it my way. I'll watch it, do it.
yeah. That'd be
But
fun.
it's
Yeah.
even my first taste was doing when you do commercials.
Right.
They give you a car. We have this car. It's fast. Watch this commercial of this Mazda, and we're like playing to it. And now it's really kind of campy
Yeah.
because they use old songs,
Yeah.
Yep.
and bring them back. Even in advertising is really those who use their music or their tracks commercially, they're
Mhm.
probably making more money than they did for the damn song.
Yeah. Could be.
I Yeah, I was dating this singer-songwriter whose name was Adrienne Pierce. She's really amazing,
Yeah.
and she did a song for Grey's Anatomy,
Oh, wow.
and they paid her 50 grand for it.
Jeez.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's incredible.
that
Yeah.
is. So let's take a step back here for just a second. You've done a lot of work, like we were talking about earlier, with videos, music videos, and
Yep.
your credits for that are very impressive. As a musician and having worked with horror cinema-minded people like Skinny Puppy, I can imagine a transition from film into videos was very easy for you. Can you share some of what you love about that medium?
Oh, everything. I mean, it's something I started working as a filmmaker when I was 23 years old. At first I was an editor and I love music. So that was just like a natural transition for me.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And became a director. And I started to do like, back in the day, like there was a lot of money for music videos,
Mhm.
especially in Canada, because they were funded by the government as well.
Oh, wow.
yeah,
So I would get like $80,000 or $100,000 to make a music video.
Oh, wow.
And that doesn't really exist anymore.
No.
But for like a decade, that was the case for me. And I was just learning to be a filmmaker at that time. And so I started looking out for my favorite cinematographers, especially, you know, from the US and whatnot. And I would like fly them to Vancouver and give them first class tickets and all that stuff. But when I was on the phone with them, I'd be like, okay, here's the deal. I love your work. I want you to teach me. And they were like, cool. So I'd be like on set with these guys and they would like be like, build that camera. And this is like in the days of 35 millimeter film,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, so I'm like, I learned how to do all that shit right on set, never went to school for it,
Oh,
right?
that's fucking
And I learned from these amazingly talented people. And that's really was the genesis of my career, in many ways. I mean, I think I was a pretty solid director even when I was younger,
yeah.
but that was the thing that like launched me into a career as a cinematographer as well. Was just, you know, just this, and I was relentless. I just wanted to make it happen.
So who were some of these favorite cinematographers?
Uh, I can't even remember their names, to be honest.
Oh no.
It's too long. I'm too old.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, there's a lot of people that were like in my life that were, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
Spike Jones used to hang out at my studio in LA,
Oh wow.
you know,
Oh,
and he cut his like seminal skateboarding video called Goldfish in my studio on my computer.
what's
You
the
know,
single most important thing you learned from Spike Jones?
I didn't at the time. He was a kid. He was just a
Yeah.
skate
I mean,
punk.
just do you have anything that pops back up that you're like, yeah, that's probably Spike?
Just his kind of like, you know, I mean, just learning how to let go of things.
Oh,
And I mean, they were doing Sabotage at the same time.
yeah.
And my friends that were living with me were producing the video at the same time.
Yeah.
And they were just like wrecking cars and doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
And and
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I mean, I need to be more of that kind of person because I grew up, you know, in a small town,
Yeah.
and I didn't really have that kind of attitude, right? It's like, you know, it's like
Yeah.
be good to the world, but you got to be reckless if you want to be an
Yeah.
artist, right? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
It does kind
I
of go
think
hand
that
in
that
hand.
probably helps in that regard.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Who's been the easiest artist you've been able to work with?
many of them, honestly, you know, many of them. Like Fear Factory was great.
Yeah.
They were like so supportive and cool, and I mean, we did so well together.
Oh, right on.
And they were really patient with me because I was doing, you know, a lot of cutting edge effects
Yeah.
work with them at a time when there wasn't computers that were even capable of that. I actually, for a couple of their videos, well, I did two for them, but I actually built the computers,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
and you know, for those videos, and I was shooting a feature film at the same time, and I was sleeping under a computer, and the I remember this day that the one of our production assistants came in, and I'm like literally sleeping under this Avid,
Yeah.
and and
Oh man.
and it's there's like pieces of the computer all over the fucking office, right? And I was just putting it together to make it work, and I did, but it was pretty stressful, honestly, you know. And but that was kind of the thing about my career at that point. I was just all about taking risks, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
fucking
that's
awesome.
cool. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, what are you working on now?
I just finished a feature film and also a feature documentary, which I did with a bunch of Indigenous leaders and educators from across Western Canada,
All right.
which we're still kind of like finalizing it. We had
Yeah.
a screening, which was really cool, and it's called Shia, which is a word from the Indigenous tribe Dakith, which means interconnectedness.
Oh, nice.
Mm, okay.
How do you spell that?
It's Shia.
SHI. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Is there an artist out there that you would drop everything to work with?
Oh, lots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody that you haven't worked with yet.
Oh yeah, tons of people. I mean, it's I remember when Skinny Puppy got signed to American Recordings,
Mhm.
and I was sitting in the office with our A&R guy at that time, and the other person that was on that label at the time was Johnny Cash.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Mm,
And
wow.
yeah, they asked me like, is there another artist that you want to work with? And I
Yeah.
was like, Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And they just looked at me and said, yeah, everybody says that.
Yeah. Did you get to? I assume no.
Uh, I don't know. There's loads of artists I'd love to work with.
Awesome. Awesome.
Mm,
PJ Harvey,
Oh,
yeah,
man. Yes.
I
Okay.
fucking love her.
Yeah.
It's like this.
yeah,
Yeah, Arca from South America.
Okay.
mm,
Um, yeah, I mean, there's so many. There's so many.
yeah.
Did you consider working
Wow.
with Radiohead?
I've met Radiohead actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Nice.
mm,
Um,
Got some incredible video work out there.
yeah. No, for sure.
Just,
Yeah.
it's absolutely mind-bending some of the stuff they work on. And
Yeah, for sure. No, 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 it's really great for sure. Yeah. I mean,
so
the thing with Radiohead, they're kind of like you too, you know. I mean, I think that they've kind of worn out their welcome,
mm,
honestly,
yeah,
which is really unfortunate when that happens with a band. But it's
yeah,
just it's like it's like Bjork is another one artist like that as well. It's like as
yeah,
amazing as they are, I think
mm,
it's just overload
yeah. I remember back
in
in
my ears, anyways. So
well, yeah, in the 90s, I had sort of the same thing with what's her name? Kate Pearson from B-52s.
right.
And I mean, just absolutely fucking phenomenal artist, and then just everywhere all the time. And yeah, I can totally get that. Um,
mm.
so, William, you are the composer and director for the American Music or American Memory Project. Can you
Yes.
tell us more about this and why it's important to you?
Yeah, so Justin and I were sitting down, and ohGr and I used to live together in LA, and so Justin was over one day, and we were talking. So the way Skinny Puppy has always worked is that people just compose music and throw it into the mix,
Yeah,
Mm,
and then I mean it's a very amorphous kind of situation. So we were talking about doing that, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I actually don't want to do that. I'd like to do something new.
mm,
And I was really fascinated with the American Memory Archive in the Library of Congress,
yeah, yeah,
mm,
and which is an incredible archive.
yeah.
It's for lawmakers, right? I mean, that's
Right.
what it's designed for. But the music and the visuals and the history, and especially Indigenous and Black history, which
Hmm.
are just not
mm,
represented in
yeah.
America.
Yeah,
And so. I just said to him, I've got this idea, which is that we reimagine this archive and
Mm,
pull elements out of it and create music from it, samples, all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
mm,
And so I moved to Italy, where Justin lives, and I spent on and off 2 years there,
yeah.
and we just got after it, and
Mm,
I composed most of the music myself,
yeah,
and Justin produced it
yeah.
and also of course, played all the drums on it as well.
yeah.
But yeah, it just became a thing. And we actually have a whole record that's never been released. That
Okay.
is, yeah, it's still kind of a work in progress, and I want to get back
Mm,
to it. But it was about taking, elements of American history that have been lost in time and reimagining them and giving life to them, And so it's
mm.
so if you look at have you seen all the stuff from AMP
All the stuff from what?
from American Memory?
Oh, I haven't seen it all yet. No.
Okay. Yeah, so if it's so like for instance, I'll give you an instance. So there's a thing called the slave narratives
Yeah.
in the American Memory Projects, right?
Mhm.
So and it's recordings that were done in the 40s
Right.
with people that were former slaves.
Mm,
And some of them are really like 120 years old. They were, anyway, there was this one monologue from this woman named Alice Gaston,
Okay.
but there was no image of her.
mm,
So So just to give you an example of how we approached the whole thing is I just made some ambient sounds and stuff to, to add to her dialogue. And then I went to a costume shop in North Hollywood where they have costumes that are specifically from different eras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a costume that would be something somebody on a plantation would be wearing in 1941.
Right.
Mhm.
And I hired this amazing actress and I had her learn to lip sync the dialogue.
Yeah.
And then I went to Bodie, which is like one of the most attacked ghost towns in the world, which is just next to Yosemite,
Yeah.
and took background plates and composited the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so
And
you have authenticity.
what's that?
So you have some authenticity,
Yeah.
some
That's a
authentic
that's a
footage.
very ambitious project, man. And
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. Yeah, it took 2 years, and yeah, and I want to get back to it. I think it's something
yeah.
that's, and the cool thing about AMP is that because we had a DVD that we released,
Yeah.
and people started doing pop-up shows, with it, and at art museums all around America, and educators started using it in the classroom and whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of the what was it? Nick Cave and shit. The Ghosts of the Civil Dead. Have you?
yep,
Yeah.
yes,
And
yeah,
it's sort of what that reminds me of. Uh,
yep,
that one hit me really hard. I was on a whole lot of stuff back then, and listening to it, and it would get very cerebral, listening to stuff when you were, awake for 17 days, and all the sleep deprivation is really saturated you real well, and you put on something like that. It was like time travel in a way. It was like just put
Mhm.
you right into the middle of it. So yeah, any of those kind of projects where you pull apart history, especially uncomfortable history, and I yeah, it would be nice if to have you get back on that. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, William, what's your earliest memory of art having a profound effect on you?
Ooh, earliest memory of art having profound effects on me. I think probably European cinema.
Okay.
Yeah, way back in
Yeah.
the yeah, when I was younger. Yeah.
Okay. Got any specifics there?
No, I mean there was a lot of things that I saw, when I was young, and I think that it's always something that stuck with me. And it's still. I mean, my heart really is in Europe.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, are you visually inclined as well, as far as art goes, like painting and sculpting, and how much of a Renaissance man are you?
Well, I'm a mechanic, and
You know?
I'm a welder, and I do a lot of stuff that is, I mean, I live in a place that we have a full shop here as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I can
Mhm.
do woodwork and use any tool.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not really, I mean, I can illustrate, but I'm not a great painter. But if you look at my work, I mean, there's a lot of complexity, I think, in terms of like the way that, I animate things and visually and whatnot.
Well,
Um, so it's a bit of a mishmash. I'm not like a classical painter or anything like that. That's not my vibe.
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
The art that you've got, or the objects you have hanging behind you on the wall, can you walk us through that?
Oh yeah, so this one right here,
Hmm.
Mhm.
it's a zoetrope.
Okay.
You know what that is?
No.
So there's a little train on the bottom of this. This from 1932. This is one of my roommates, or not, or art mates. He's not my roommate. Built this, and he's a genius. And it's so that little train runs, and the wheel turns, and there's one of the very first films that was ever made, an Edison film.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Zoetrope. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and
Yeah.
then you see it through here, and that's like a surveyor's scope, right?
Okay. All
So
right.
there's a strobe
Mhm.
light that goes off here as
Yeah.
well. And then in the middle there's a record that plays at the same time.
Holy crap. That is
Mhm.
freaking awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty cool.
Man, it looks like a mismatched battle shield. Um,
Yeah,
from
Yeah.
where I'm sitting. I've got a weird view of it, but
yeah, yeah. So these were like the different iterations of it
yeah, okay.
Mhm.
as you just
Oh, okay.
and this is
Yeah.
the one that actually works.
Mm.
That's fucking awesome, dude. Oh my
You
God.
know, you know, you got a Spielberg kind of persona.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
now going back to what you're doing currently, being a professor and
Yeah.
That's got to
molding
be
minds,
lovely.
as it were. What's a day in a class with William as a professor like?
I'm a really unconventional, I think, teacher in that I wasn't looking for a job as a professor. It was the school that invited me.
Yeah,
And so I literally showed up. Nobody told me anything. It was during COVID as
yeah,
well. So like we're all wearing masks and shields and all this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
yeah,
And we were one of the few universities that were actually still functioning in person at the time.
yeah.
And I was just like walked into the first class I think that I did, and one of the guys that hired me asked me how it went afterwards, and I said, I think it went okay. I only said motherfucker once. But I was like, I like literally walked in the class. I'm like, I'm Will. I got a fucking ton of experience, and I swear like a trucker. If you have a problem with that, let me know.
Oh my
And
God.
we just got after it. So I'm like, and it's a very weird experience in some ways, and it's wonderful. Like I really have amazing relationships, and a lot of my former students. And in the documentary program, our students tend to be a bit older,
Mhm.
so like mid-30s kind of thing, and a lot of them have become my best friends. You
Oh, that's
know,
awesome.
so I have this whole community now in Vancouver of young people that are super creative and, just awesome, and we hang out all the time.
No, that's cool. That's good. That's good to have.
So,
Pretty much.
words of wisdom for younger generations coming into this fucked up place we've put ourselves into. Got any?
In terms of like America.
In terms of just artists wanting to kick against the pricks, so to speak, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you just like really, it's just dedication. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I've been working on this project with Bob Rock. You know who he is?
Bob Brock, that sounds familiar. Who's
He
that?
produced Aerosmith, Metallica,
Okay.
like Black
Oh,
Hill, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so Brian Adams' studio is right around the corner from my studio,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and so we were. I was actually playing on this record there recently,
Oh wow.
and we talk about that too. It's like it's just about putting in the time. You
Yeah.
know, it really is. Like I mean, if you want to be a player, there's Bob, like Bob says, it's like there's a million amazing, like you just look on YouTube, there's a
Yeah.
million fucking amazing players in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but there's very few songwriters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. True.
You know?
Yeah.
And
I don't
it's
even, there's so many bass players. Oh my God.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's like I've been listening to the Viagra Boys and the bass lines they have.
The Viagra Boys? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I
Yeah, I'm
just
going to
like
see them. I'm going to see them. Yeah.
kills all those, you know, virtuosos, fucking incredible. All the stuff I used to be into.
Yeah.
This isn't, it's just so many fucking incredible players.
Yeah, for sure there is. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Which is great. I mean, it's amazing.
But there's none that there's hardly anyone who has songs
Right.
Yeah.
really make, that's what I liked is to have soundtrack of sounds and songs for what's happening around me now.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
that's the thing. So I really do feel, artists, people who want to be into the music or in arts, they really have to put in a lot of belief, a
Yeah.
lot of work into it, a lot.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
you don't expect anything. I wasn't expecting to have any kind of reaction that that's happened to me. I just wanted to play some music, you know. And then when I got to see artists in other bands. I realized, wow, that's what I want to do. And I was 20, 23, 24.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I started much later. All my friends were musicians.
Mm.
And I look at them and I pay their way in and buy them something to drink and,
Yeah,
and get the pot.
yeah,
That's what it was. And I to this day, if I had another chance in life, I would do it again, you know.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Sure.
I
No,
mean, I was like a filmmaker long before I
Before
was,
you're a musician.
yeah, and it was in my 30s, I think, and I was playing in
Yeah.
this punk rock band called Lick the Pole, and with these,
yeah,
no, and you can look it up online, you'll see, but and with these two female singers that were batshit crazy and super fun,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
and we kind of took Canada by storm, like
Uh-huh.
for a year.
yeah.
And then just quit because we were like, if we go on tour, we're going to kill ourselves.
Yeah, okay.
And but
Bringing back
that's
some
how it
memories,
started
man.
with ohGr, because ohGr came up. He was living in Seattle at the time, so he came up to see, and his wife Jessica at the time came up to see us,
Yeah,
and that was like, then he realized that I actually was a capable musician at that point,
Yeah.
and that's when he invited me into ohGr. That's how the whole thing
oh,
started.
that's
Oh, okay. That's
And that
cool.
was before
that's
Skinny
very
Puppy.
awesome.
I was like, I mean, I
Uh,
was working with Skinny Puppy for years, but that's before I started playing with Skinny Puppy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
What was your first musical instrument, William?
guitar always when I was 9 years old. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
always, yeah.
All right. Do
And
you remember what brand it was?
it was a Fender. It was a Fender
Fender.
acoustic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to start, man.
Yeah.
Now, any musical plans on the horizon?
I just want to get back to AMP, like just get back to the American Memory Project. Really,
Yeah.
that's the main thing for me. I mean, like I said, I still score my films.
Yeah.
Mm.
But like in terms of like actual, making records and things like that. That's where I'd like to get back to and get back to, to Justin. So my plan right now is really, next year I'm planning to do, even at my age, I'm 59,
Yeah.
Mhm.
is I'm going to do a master's degree.
Oh, nice.
I'm a university professor.
Yes.
So I'm going to do a master's degree in anthropology.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
Fucking
then
badass.
after that, I'm going to move back to Italy, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Back
Leave
to
me here
Italy.
in
You
this,
lived in Italy
leave
before?
me in North America, huh?
What's that?
Gonna leave me here in North America.
Come, Charles.
I love Justin. I love Justin.
Yeah, he's great.
Like,
Yeah, he is. He is.
yeah. No,
Uh,
he's a wonderful guy. So is Matt. I mean,
yeah,
everybody in that team's pretty fucking awesome, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Mark Walk,
yeah.
that's
Mark is a crazy motherfucker.
probably my favorite producer of all time. And
I haven't talked to him in a long time. But yeah, no,
yeah.
no, no,
No, I
no.
haven't either. We were
Me
talking
neither.
on Messenger pretty regularly for a minute there, and then he went off into the boondocks with his RV to start working on stuff, and I haven't really heard from him since. So I need to reconnect with the man because
Yeah,
I do miss talking with him.
he
Absolutely.
does. He does send me a shout out once in a while. He says, he his contributions are like, I can't contribute anything, Levi, but good luck, man. At
Yeah,
least
yeah,
and that really means a lot to me.
yeah.
He really does. That means at least I'm still
I think the first time he reached
relevant.
out to me was over some comment somebody had made on Facebook, and I had responded to it, and it's
Uh,
trying to talk someone down from a negative mindset or something, and he reached out, kind of commiserating on what it was about, and yeah, he's a
uh,
fascinating person, and just the stuff he does musically just lights me up. It's incredible. William, do you have
yeah.
anything else you'd like to talk about today?
No, not really. I mean, is there anything you guys want to talk about that we haven't talked about?
Levi?
Um, I don't know. I'm good. I mean, we have each other's number now, and I like to keep in touch,
Of course.
definitely. And keep each other posted on what's going on. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
No,
know,
it's fucking awesome to reconnect with
me
you.
and the Pope are the same age.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's a story in itself, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you, Levi?
Uh,
Just give me a hint.
I'm the Pope. I'm like
The
10
Pope.
years he was born, 1955.
I did this
Um,
thing at the school with my kids. I
uh,
showed them. I always just show them my own work. I don't show them anybody else's work because I'm like, I want them to know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I always like crack up because like, okay, I made this before you were born.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
yeah,
God. That's fucking awesome, man. Oh,
yeah. My son, he he's a performer himself, at least he used to. And he started a little thing called Sex No Babies. And he
Such a
was
great.
very theatrical on it and stuff. And he holds his own, and I love him very much. He's really good. But like I said, we got to keep creating. All of us have to keep creating.
yeah.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're
Yeah,
here for. Yep, for sure.
yeah. And it's good that we finally got a chance to talk to each other.
Yeah,
It's
for
really
sure.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because all the hype in all back then, it can be overpowering.
yeah, yeah.
And you don't get a chance to really talk. Got to get up and go. Got to move.
Yeah.
My oldest kid is 37 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and my girlfriend's a little bit younger than him, and I'd have this really uncomfortable conversation with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
uh, yeah.
Yeah.
My,
Oh my God. That's fucking awesome.
that's good.
And it has been an absolute pleasure catching back up with you, William. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you too.
Um,
That's
Yeah.
great. You guys are
uh,
awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Um,
Thank you for being here. You guys want to?
yeah, let's shut it down now
Okay. All right,
so we
kiddo.
can get crazy.
We're going to be taking a little break from the show as we are sponsoring Mechanismus this year and the Mechanismus Festival. I'm going to be neck deep in that at the for the end of the month
Mhm.
and have loads of prep work to get ready. Please, if you are in Seattle area in the last week of May and want to do something incredible, go grab yourself a pass. There's an incredible lineup this year. Ollie and the gang have really outdone themselves. They've gone above and beyond for you. Buy that merch too, people. It's how we support the arts and show the middle finger to the man. So viva la revolution. Um, Okay, sours and sweets. We have
Yeah,
reached the end of
and
another episode
you're stuck.
dedicated as ever to our dear friend Jason Lupo. May he rest in peace. Please remember to be good to yourselves and to each other. This timeline is a bit of a dark one, and we are all feeling the pressure. It's okay to not be okay. You're not a burden. You are loved. You are seen. Don't suffer in silence. If you see someone struggling, please help. And if you don't have the bandwidth to help, at least don't do harm. Try to keep in mind that anger is a absolutely normal response to the stress we're all under, and don't react so much to people being angry right now. Grace is our
Yeah.
friend. Don't forget to breathe. Love, hugs, and belly rubs, everyone. Cheers.
Hmm. Cheers.